If you work for the government, you won't get a raise in the next 1 year. And also, the government might soon start controlling hospital bills. And just how much did Rachel Shebesh get after being slapped by Kidero? All this is coming up on the show. Welcome to Speed Feed. My name is Kimani Mbogwa, and this is where you get a good picture of all the latest news and trending stories. Feel free to share this show with your friends. I'm sure they will appreciate that you did it. You know, they will thank you for it. Trust me, they will. Let's get into today's feed and talk about, what's driving the conversation today. It's official now. Jubilee and ODM have started talks on how to form a coalition as we head into the 2022 general elections. Yes, yesterday, party officials met. You can see there, Raphael Tuju, Zinat Mohammed, and, David Murathe. They met to strategize on how to take the handshake deal to the next level, which means they will go into the elections together. It's official now. It's official now. Meanwhile, DP Ruto, he joined in on the conversation about requirements for degrees for those vying in elections. Yesterday, he said that they are going to make a review of those recommendations that require people vying for elective posts to have university degrees. And true to that, they did, because Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen, he has already drafted an amendment to the Elections Act that will scrap the requirement for you to have a degree before you vie all together. What's your reaction to that? This one is a dicey one because I have some views on this, and I guess I will tell you as we go on with the show, at the tail end of the show. But give me your comments, because we are live on Facebook. In case you don't believe it, just comment and tell me what you think about that. Should we scrap the degree requirements, for people vying, in the elections? Should we just do it all together? Why does an MCA need a degree? Why does an MP need a degree? Yeah, that amendment has already been tabled at the Senate. Now, in other news today, the Health Amendment Act. This is an act that has been tabled in Parliament already. And it has an interesting proposal that I'd like to hear your thoughts on this as well. It proposes the creation of a body called the Kenya Health Human Resource Advisory Council. And the work of this body will be to, among other things, determine and regulate hospital charges. Yeah, Kenyans have been struggling to get healthcare due to, high medical bills. You always see these people on social media, trying to fundraise for their loved ones. So they have proposed to control medical bills, charged by hospitals, and this body will be setting the costs of the bills, and this is to cushion Kenyans from, exploitation by hospitals and medical practitioners. Is this a good idea? Yeah, do you think it's a good idea? Yeah, let me know. I see some of you are sharing already on Facebook. Thank you so much. Leave me a comment as well. Sammy Jr. is here. Says, now why does an MCA need a degree? It's a good question. Yeah, it's a good question. Why does an MCA need a degree? Yeah, Kipchumba Murkomen says that the only qualification that you need in terms of education is to be proficient in both English and Kiswahili. And if you have a disability like, you can't hear, you need to be proficient in Kenyan Sign Language. At least be able to communicate effectively. That could be the only requirement. And this is going to open up the whole, the field for everyone to vie. Yeah. Thank you, Sammy Jr., for your comments on Facebook. And also, as we go on with these stories, I want to read some of your comments on, a story that's coming up here. You guys have some very, very interesting thoughts, and thank you for always commenting. But let's talk about other things happening today, because NMS, they did another test run on Green Park Terminus today. I see Felix is shaking his head because this morning was a bit hectic. It has been postponed twice in the last month, and they have been holding talks with stakeholders, and to just make sure they get all things right on how to do it. And passengers this morning who use railways and Hakati, they were forced to walk from Green Park to wherever else they were going, and I'm sure that walk was hectic, as Felix says this morning. Yeah, jasho ilitiririka watu wengi. This is people from Langata, Ngong Road, Mombasa Road. Imagine coming from Kitengela. That's like coming from Mombasa. It's like coming from way far, and then you get to town, and then you have to walk from Green Park. Green Park is for some people don't know this, by the way. Green Park is at Haile Selassie at the roundabout of Haile Selassie on Upper Hill Road. Yeah. That's where Green Park is. Walking from there, imagine if you're going to Westlands and you have to walk all the way to Koja. That's more than 3 kilometers, I believe, from Green Park to Koja. That's a long walk. And imagine having to do that every morning. Give me a comment. Were you involved in that? Mutugi Kibwe Mora says, the hustlers hatuna pesa za degree. Tubebwe polepole nchini yetu. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mutugi, for your comment. Keep giving me your comments on Facebook on this and more stories. We're talking about what is trending today. Other things that are trending, we'll talk about Deputy Jesus in a second, and Mukisa Kitui, and all of that debacle. Sonko is going in on that composition as well. We'll talk about all of those things, and I'll take your thoughts as well. But we have an update on the student who assaulted the principal, his principal in Kericho. Remember this story? The boy who hit his principal on the head with a piece of wood that had a nail on it. Yesterday he surrendered to the police at Kapsoit police station in Kericho. The incident has also left the teachers at Ainamoi Secondary School in shock, because they say that the 16-year-old had no record of indiscipline. He had no record of indiscipline cases in the school, and this was the first time he acted out. The school principal, though, who was assaulted, is still under treatment after undergoing surgery after being assaulted by a student. Now, there's also a lead in the case of missing security analyst Mwenda Mbijue. You probably have seen him around media stations. He's a regular analyst and commentator. Now, lead detectives on the case say that they found something resembling, or they found a car resembling the one that he was last seen in, abandoned in Kigumo in Murang'a County, and they don't know whether it's directly tied to his disappearance. Bijue is said to have borrowed that car from a police officer based at Pangani police station. That's the last time he was seen. Thanks for your comments. I see your comments on Facebook. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. We'll keep reading them as we go on. Let me see. Duncan Kipchumba says, leaders are from God, and we've seen some leaders who are more educated misusing power and office. The learned are the most corrupt, since they are well upstairs. I have my MCA. Not educated as such, but his performance. Or he says rather, his MCA is not educated that as much, but his performance speaks louder. So degree is just but a paper that can't be used as a parameter for gauging leadership qualities. Thank you for your comment, Duncan Kipchumba on Facebook. Yes, that debate, that whole conversation, the deputy president has chimed in on it. He says, he was speaking yesterday to MCAs and said, why does an MCA need a degree exactly? And Kipchumba Murkomen, he has already, suggested that the Elections Act be amended to remove that requirement to have a degree altogether. That, it's open for everyone. As long as you can speak good English and Kiswahili, you can run, even for president. Yeah? Interesting. Thank you for your comments. Bakali Saminjama, I only have a marriage certificate na nitakuwa kwa debe 2022. The only certificate he has is the marriage certificate na nataka kuwa kwa debe. Someone had asked, now why does an MCA need a degree? And Andrew Kipkoskei says, to steal smartly. Thank you for your comments on these stories. Now, meanwhile, retired Chief Justice David Baraga, he's continued to speak on the frosty relationship between the judiciary and the executive, which of course was escalated by the president failing to appoint 6 judges out of the 41 that were recommended to him. Now, he was speaking at a virtual conference yesterday, and he referenced to this case of the 6 judges being left out, and he said that the president's role in these appointments is just ceremonial, and his failure to appoint them even 14 days after their names were forwarded to him was unconstitutional. So he's keeping that conversation going on what the president should do. Now, meanwhile, promise to talk about this. Rachel Shebesh, remember her? She's been, it's been a while since we've heard from her, but it's Understandable, because she's a state official now. She's the current CAS at the Ministry of Gender and Public Service. Now, she was doing an interview yesterday with Ghetto Radio, and she revealed that she was paid close to 30 million shillings by former Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero after that famous slap in 2013. She says that they settled the matter out of court, and that if she hadn't pursued the case, every elected woman who is in office would have faced similar challenges. Yeah, she got slapped with about 30 million shillings. Talk about expensive slaps, my friend. Yeah. Why does someone slap me here in the office now so I can sue them and get... How much is that gonna be worth? How much? Yeah. The bar has already been set. 30 million. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, she got paid about 30M from that incident. Meanwhile, I remember telling the people of Nyanza and Western, Kisumu areas and this yesterday. I told you guys yesterday on Speed Feed that the government was considering imposing a tougher curfew because of the rising cases of COVID, in that particular region. And shortly after the show yesterday, it happened. Busia, Vihiga, Kisii, Nyamira, Kakamega, Kericho, Bomet, Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, Kisumu, Siaya, Homa Bay, and Migori. All of those counties, they are now under lockdown with curfew starting from 7 p.m. 7. This is like the initial lockdown we have. Public gatherings and in-person meetings have also been banned. Hakuna disco matanga. Churches were also closed down for 30 days. Basically, all the goodies that come with lockdown, my friend. Yeah. Take care of yourselves, my people. Yeah, there's some things that you directly cause. You know in your heart, you did not need to go for that political rally, and you still did. Yeah? You didn't need to go for those meetings. There are those things that you can definitely avoid. There's some things like going to work or, opening your business. Some of those things, you can't really avoid them. But there are some that, what will legislate? And I know there's, like Trans Nzoia. What did the people of Trans Nzoia do? What did the people of Bomet do? Yeah. Sasa kuna watu wamechapwa tu na lockdown. And some of them didn't even have anything to do with rallies. Wengine hata hawako wanaenda disco matanga. There are people who are just, generally been taking care of themselves. And, now this has happened. Now, meanwhile, at the National Police Service, Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai, he has banned police officers from making complaints about the police service on social media. Hakuna stories of viral videos of police anymore. Yeah, all employees in the enforcement service, they got a memo that bans them from sharing information with the media, whether verbally or otherwise, and disciplinary action will be taken against any officer found abusing the use of social media. They were directed to use the available channels to address their grievances, something like internal affairs. And yeah, that's what's happening there. Yeah. Thank you so much for your comments. I see those of you who are commenting on Facebook. Yeah, give me your reactions to this. Today, I guess we're leading with the talk about degrees. Do you need a degree to be an MCA or even a president? Should we, Yeah, because in the Senate, they're going to be discussing that. Whether we should just do away with that requirement to have people with degrees only being qualified to vie for elective posts. Now, the other thing, some people think this announcement has come a little too late because it's more than a year after the pandemic started, because SRC has notified all public servants that they will not have their salaries increased for 2 years. Or for a year, actually. Sorry. This is because of the economic disruptions brought about by COVID, and the government is saying, we don't have money to add your salaries. So in case you're looking forward to go and negotiate for a raise, big stopper already. It's not going to happen, at least for now. Felix Omondi is here. Thank you so much, Felix. Felix is usually watching from the US, right? Yeah. He says at least a third of MPs and senators, women reps and governors have fake degrees. Yeah. Yeah, that's what he says. At least most of them have fake degrees. Actually, Babu, has suggested that anyone who wants to buy a degree from him buys. He has like 4 degrees and like 6 diplomas. What are all of those for? He's he's putting them up for sale. Felix is also saying about commenting on Kidero. He says Kidero lost nothing. 30 million? Hey, Atakama. Okay, are you that? Is he that rich? That, yeah. I mean, if you're a millionaire losing 30 million, that's still consider that's a big amount of money. But Felix feels like he didn't lose anything. Talking about how the government of Kidero, was not performing that well. Thank you so much for your comments. Let me check out other comments here on the police being restricted from sharing their videos on social media. Mtuamaju says, no way, the freedom of speech is enshrined in the 2010 constitution. I say no to your gagging orders. Mary Mwangi replies there, nothing much you can do about it. It doesn't happen even in Maju unless you exhaust the system, which is rare. Talking about police being restricted from sharing or complaints about the police force on social media. Tabby Daddy says, Mr. IG, then please give them another forum to vent out. If not, you will witness many shooting themselves and or killing each other or even their bosses. Listen to them. Do not compel them to do what they do not want. That's Tabby Daddy. Njuga Moses says, oh yes, shooting and mass shooting will be witnessed. Life is difficult, Mr. IG. These officers need a channel to vent out their frustrations. Give them a hearing. Stop threatening them with disciplinary action. It won't help. This will bring unprecedented results. You won't like it. Those are some of your comments on this story. You can comment also on Kenyans.co.ke on some of these stories. Talking about this boy who, attacked his principal and, pierced his principal through the head with a nail. Patrick Kasuku says, if it's true that this particular boy did not have any discipline cases in school, Patrick Kasuku says, it could reflect a case of passionate drive and ambition to stay in school and study, only to feel dejected and rejected by being sent away because of school fees. Maybe he needs to be counseled and assisted with the fees arrears. Maybe. That's Patrick Kasuku talking about this case of the boy who pierced through his principal's head with a nail. Now, Calvin Sochol, this is a long one. The comment here, your thoughts on this. Still on the story of this boy, he says, teachers must learn how to handle different situations they face with different students' needs. It must never be the issue of money and money alone, even where you can confirm that a student has been putting in sufficient effort to reverse the trend of poverty back home by exemplarily working hard on all fronts. Give needy students time and space that enables them to focus more on what can prove to their parents and community that their investment in their education won't be in vain. At times, it's boring seeing teachers turn a blind eye to the needs of their students, even with all the glaring evidence at their disposal. That's Calvin Sochor on Kenyans.co.ke. Joseph Shikuku has responded to that and says, well presented, though consistent with our Kenyan culture of blaming victims. Mirongo Mwenda Samuel also replies and says, some students are terrorists and also criminals. Loose rules were scrapped. Let teachers leave hooligans alone in the street with their useless. Strong words there. Give me your comments on this as well. We are live on Facebook. Feel free to comment. Give me your comments and let me check out some more on this. Thank you so much. So many comments coming through on these stories. And regarding Kisumu being locked down, hey, the people of Kisumu are not happy. Elkana Onguti says, this is definitely for our own good. Life is still good. Observe. Ahmed says, it's for their own good. Shida kubwa, Nyanza people became careless and didn't take every problem solvable by action, political. Okay, replying to that, Pascal Owande says COVID walks at night. In regards to the curfew in Kisumu and all of those other 11 counties that have been locked down. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you so much for your comments. We appreciate this. Please share this video with your friends. I'm sure they're going to appreciate that we have talked about the latest stories and trends, in an easy way. Just a second before I go, let me tell you who is trending right now, who is Twitter angry at, who are they talking about. Muhisa Kitui, people are still talking about him. I guess, I mean, if you have the internet, you already know what has happened or what has not happened. Deputy Jesus is trending. Yeah, I don't know who Deputy Jesus is. Green Pack is also trending. Jubilee is trending because they're going to a coalition pact with ODM. Who else is trending today? Yeah, I guess... Yeah, Silicon Valley. There's also an interesting story about how investors, or rather, investors in Silicon Valley have deep pockets. But if you're not African, if you want to invest in startups in Kenya, and this is filled by an article that Larry Madowo wrote on The Guardian about, it's titled, Silicon Valley has deep pockets for African startups if you're not African. Yeah, it has raised, a heated conversation. I've also seen Jim Chuchu. Jim Chuchu is from Haverfund. Jim Chuchu is also from Haverfund. He's also chimed in on this conversation on Twitter. The story that there's this poster there on this conversation that's happening about startups, and white tech startup founders are 50,000% more likely to get funded. So if you're passionate about startups and all, that conversation is happening right now. Thank you for your comments. I don't want to leave out anybody before we wind up the show today on Facebook. It's Friday and I want to let you guys go and do other things. Daniel Makanda, meanwhile, says, okay, this is on Facebook, says, okay, so that the two can engage smartly to outwit DP Ruto. That's regarding Jubilee and ODM going into a pact. He says the two now need to engage smartly to outwit DP Ruto. Such kind of implementation matrix can't work at all. We've seen mergers since time immemorial. Raila should now leave the ticket to young, energetic and willing minds to transform Kenya. His political roles are ever misguided by his own team. He gets excited for no apparent reason. His character depicts of an, even in the... He does not believe in other people's political ideologies, expects from his vitendawillis and so on. That mindset. Dam is here. Is also saying people with degrees are the only ones who should vote. You sure that's gonna work? We are about to scrap that requirement for even those who are vying to be required to have a degree. Yeah, that's a conversation today. Outside of this show, you will find little else that is trending. And now you're in the know for these and more stories. As I always say, you can find this and all the stories that you need to know today on Kenyans.co.ke. The website is very well arranged. You always find the latest stories. And we have a tab there where you can see the top 10 stories that are trending on that day. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kipchumba Murkomen. We'll see you again on Monday here on Speedfeed. Have a great weekend ahead. Goodbye.